But on the line with us right now is Keymone Freeman, the program director and host at We Act Radio, an activist with Black Lives Matter DC. WeActRadio.com is the website, and Keymone's Twitter handle is Guerrilla Artist. Keymone, welcome back to the program.
Peace, Tom. Can you hear me well?
Just fine, yeah. Great to have you again. It's been a while since we've talked.
Yes.
Before I get to the stuff around the metro in DC and the police and the way everything went down this last weekend, I'm curious your thoughts on Trump's tweet about Omarosa.
Well, I think you answered it well yesterday on your show when you said this is the classic dog whistle in terms of what white supremacists have done since the dawn of time in this country and this attacking black people's intelligence. I mean, up until just last year, Hollywood were telling the world that black movies wouldn't sell overseas. I mean, I was wanted to sink in. They were saying that black movies don't matter outside of America, which is like laughable when we think about all of the black artists who had to flee America to have a career. The Paul Robesons, the countless artists that had to go overseas to have a career. So he's sticking to the tried and proven status quo in terms of sending dog whistles out. But I shouldn't even say dog whistles, because right now everyone can hear this whistle. And I think that we're witnessing the dismantling of white supremacy brick by brick, and they're just circling the wagons.
Do you see him calling an African-American woman, a black woman, a dog as more misogyny, racism, both, or is the issue of just the general dehumanization of other people? I mean, famously in Rwanda, they called the Tutsis cockroaches. In Germany in the 30s, Hitler called the Jews rats. I mean, that continued for like 8 years in the media and in the press. What do you think what is the consequence of this? What do you think this really is all about?
Again, this is a long trail of tears. They have to, in order to dehumanize people, to justify the treatment of these people, is to refer to them as animals. It's a consistent tactic, as you alluded to. But we've heard the same things applied to Michelle Obama. Florida is not just online from trolls, but there was even police officers here in the nation's capital who shared that same sentiment and actually threatened to shoot her. And
that's right, I'd forgotten. That's been a while.
Yeah, there's a long trail of tears, and it's all coming to the surface, and I'm glad it's out in the open, and we have to deal with the ugly truth of America, and we're going to wrestle with it, as you've seen in Portland 2 weeks ago and here in D.C. just on Sunday.
Yeah, and speaking of that, give us a recap of what happened in D.C. this last weekend.
Well, I would say that the protesters were somewhere in the upwards of 15 to 20,000. I think that the white supremacists, alt-right, or whatever they want to go by in mainstream media, but this white supremacist rally was somewhere around 200 or 300, and they were the recipients of preferential treatment. They received, for those who do not know, a private car, police escorts, and no one knows what that cost was, and no one knows who paid for it. And it was falsely reported that they were refused to do so. The Metro released a statement saying that they would not provide preferential treatment for a hate group, but inadvertently they did do it. They said it was a matter of security, and I just want people to understand that. Imagine Black Lives Matter protesters receiving a police escort in a private car in Boston, celebrating or commemorating the death of a police officer. That is paramount to what has happened here, and actually it's even worse because Black Lives Matter is not directly responsible for anyone's death, but white supremacists were here honoring the death of a young girl who died as a result of their activities.
Yeah, it's truly bizarre. Is the police department in D.C. Are they going to thoughtfully look into this? Are they capable of introspection, do you think?
Yes, I've reached out to them myself personally, and inquiries have been made. I urge people to join this. This is of national concern. This is the nation's capital. This is not Cleveland. This is the nation's capital, and I think it's a national concern. And they can contact MPD. That would be I can give the email address out. It's mp.dc.gov. I'll get it again later the show. But also there are actually calls from the unions here asking for the the board of the Washington Metro Area Transit Authority to fire the general manager who okayed this. And I can give those numbers off if people would like to do something. That is our motto here. We are Credo, and it's Northern Virginia Transit. They can be contacted at 703-524-3322. North Virginia Transit can be contacted at 703-524-3322. And our mayor of the nation's capital, Mayor Bowser, is 202-727-2643. That's 202-727-2643. And then, of course, Larry Hogan, who's up for re-election, mind you, against a very formidable opponent in Ben Jealous. And we're looking to see how this pans out in the election this year, and I hope people will get out and vote this year. Gary Logan is 410-974-3901. That's 410-974-3901. And this is just small things that people can do to really resonate and go a long way if we're really serious about confronting the issues of our day. Again, this is not about safety. It was about preferential treatment to a hate group who was responsible for a girl's death and lied about it. So this should be completely unacceptable. And if they want the police accountability, that's mpd.press@dc.gov. mpd.press@dc.gov is the email for official inquiry to not only why they did this, but how much they paid to have this done. This was city. I'm assuring you that they did not pay for this themselves, and that taxpayer money was allocated for this preferential treatment.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable. Keymone, we're talking with Keymone Freeman, activist of Black Lives Matter in D.C. and the program director and a host over at We Act Radio, our D.C. affiliate, a radio station that carries our show. And
the only one in the nation's capital that carries Thom Hartmann.
There you go, and we're proud to be on it. Keymone, with regard to Black Lives Matter in D.C., how is the movement doing?
I think this has actually invigorated the movement. Again, there was upwards of 15 to 20,000 people out there. A good portion of them was all supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I have to remind everyone that there's a 2006 FBI report. This is not the We Act Radio report. This is not the Thom Hartmann report. This is not the left-wing report. It's the FBI report, who's not a friend of progressive thinkers. And they have reported that as of 2006, all levels of law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacists, and that has not been dealt with or acknowledged openly. And that's why you see, like you saw in Portland 2 weeks ago, the police taking the sides of the right-wingers and attacking the protesters. Is actually trying to address the hatred in this country. But we see this, look at Standing Rock. We don't have to go any farther than that, and how people who was trying to protect their water was treated, and then see how white supremacists are treated.
Yeah, it's all solid. Keymone Freeman, program director and host at React Radio, activist with Black Lives Matter DC. WeActRadio.com is the website, and Keymone, your Twitter handle is Guerrilla Artist, right?
That's correct, and also at We Act Radio, of course.
Cool. Okay, Keymone Freeman. Thanks so much, Keymone.
Fighting the good fight. Thank you, Tom.
Amen. Good talking.